Hey everyone, Prime Gaming has another month of 6 games this time. We went one less than last month, and we are kind of in an unthemed section this month, so let's get into it. First up, we have Demon Hunter 2, which came out in 2016. About $10 normally if you bought it on Steam. Looking at 3 hours of gameplay. And like many of the games I've been noticing with Prime Gaming, this didn't have a Metacritic score yet. I kind of like that they're bringing games in that aren't normally played as much and giving a cool experience. This is a point-and-click style game where you are a demon hunter, which someone has killed your family, demon, and the goal here is to kind of redeem the death. Basic point-and-click game to find these demons and stop them. This does the old-school style of you click an area and a little picture-in-picture will show up, and you can only interact in that picture. So not too much on the world itself. It's just finding these hot spots. This mixes in puzzles as well, like a mini Rube Goldberg machine to solve this little track thing by putting the pieces back together, or you get the hidden objects. So it's like 12 or 15 objects you got to find in this screen and click around till you find them. My big complaint was this came out in 2016, but had a lot of very old game mechanics that I don't think really work well today. It was the picture-in-picture, which was just clunky. I wasn't a fan of that. And also, I'm just not a fan of hidden object games much. And the cutscenes here were... They weren't bad at first, but then they got weird, and that disturbed me too. So overall, I would say don't download this game. The pros here is there is multiple types of games, so if this did look interesting, or you played a lot of the mobile hidden objects, this gives you a little more story and a little more to do if you're into those games. The con here is that it's a PC puzzle game that's kind of dated feeling. So if, to me, I didn't feel like nothing was added to this to make it unique. Next up, we have Liberated, which came out in 2020. Got a Metacritic score of 59, so a little bit on the lower side. About 20 bucks on Steam with about 4 hours of gameplay you're looking at for this action adventure. This does the format that I always like, is the 2.5D platformer. And the story here is surveillance took over the world, so technology is very important. What you do on social media is being monitored, and if you're not doing normal posts or anything, people will go to your house and arrest you. So kind of keeping order, where there's a group of people called the Liberated that do not like this at all. And your character did a hack job that was pretty good, and they wanted you to join, and since he is rebelling against it anyways, they were a good fit. The whole positive of this game was the style and the design. It's a comic book you're going through, and each panel is like a cutscene, a still, or the gameplay. So you just kind of move across these panels, which made it flow pretty well. I enjoyed that. And like I said, the gameplay theme was really good. You had 2 modes. You could do story mode. I didn't do that one for this review. I played the regular version where you had more game mechanics, and that's where it started feeling short to me. It was very simple. There was like a couple bosses, and there was even sections where like nothing would happen. You're kind of just running. So overall, that didn't appeal to me, but just the whole presentation and just how it is, and the story was interesting. I would recommend a download. And the pros here is the whole presentation of the game. The comic book thing just worked well for me and made me continue, actually. The con here is, weirdly, if you're looking for a game, you have some basic mechanics, and it's not enough there that kept me satisfied. I was debating for this download or not, but that presentation was really good, which I would actually want to try the story mode. I might go back and play that to see if that was better than actually doing that. So still recommend this. Next up is Breaks Are for Losers, which came out in 2012. Looking at a Metacritic score of 63, $10 normally on Steam. And it's a racing game that is average about an hour, it says on the How Long to Beat website. And if you're wondering why you're still seeing me talking, was I couldn't get this game to work. I would get through the loading screen, and it would be a white screen. I saw on Steam that I could download the C# 2015 redistributables, I think, and work with that, but I kind of stopped there because that seemed just clunky. So if someone out there wants to like add their input in the comments, I would really appreciate it, but I could not get this game to work directly from downloading. So this is a not download because the pro and con is I couldn't really get it to work. I guess it could be a pro, it didn't work. I don't know. Didn't get to play the game, and I was really looking forward to it because screenshots, it was an overhead racer game, and it looked pretty cool. Next up, we have Puzzle Quest 2, the sequel to Puzzle Quest 1 from Telltale, which got pretty good reviews on there, and this one also was about 3 hours of gameplay and came out 2009. Another Metacritic score of 63 and $5 on Steam. Like the first one, this is a puzzle game, and the puzzles are very similar. You have to mail them off, and you get a certain number of tries, and you can use hints. So it kind of really nothing changed, and to continue from storyline. So it was like a really good sequel to continue. The story's not the best still. That was the complaint I kind of had with the first one, but it does keep it going and keeps you intrigued. So wouldn't say it's a groundbreaking story. It's that you will want to play. And the puzzles were kind of fun. I enjoyed the puzzles for some reason. So I still recommend this as a download. It kept me engaged the whole time as the pro. The con here is really the story, like I said, continued from the first. And it really continues from the first. Like, I think you could play without having the first game because they kind of say references of like, oh, this is Dave, blah, but and then just continue. But certain characters' reactions is shocking to you. I'm trying not to talk about the story because obviously it's a direct continue. And if you didn't play that first one, I think you'd be a little confused at why people are acting a certain way. Like, you would be harder to tell. So I would say the con here is if you didn't play the first one, you probably won't like this one too much. Next up, we have The Secret Files. We thought we were done. We completed the trilogy, and they come back with this spin-off game. So if you were really enjoying the trilogy, you get the spin-off as well this month. So you have pretty much the whole collection now. This came out in 2013. Metacritic score 62, $10, and 3 hours of gameplay on another point-and-click game. Like I said, this is a spin-off, and you play as Sam, who appeared in Secret Files 2. And you kind of go through her storyline after she was rescued. The problem I had mostly with the game was the very bad jokes and dialogue. Sam made references to things 2013, like posting things on YouTube, kind of always joking. That was her character in the game, but having her as a main felt just dragging. Like, I wanted Nina back. Like, I was like, I wish I had a spinoff with just her again. And this plays as a similar one. I don't have much more to add to it. It's your basic point and click. You have a nice hint system to show you where you can click. And it's usually pretty straightforward. That's why I usually like these games. But this is shorter at 3 hours. And overall, I just didn't have the interest like I did with the trilogy. And I did recommend the trilogy at times. I thought it was good. But this one, I would say a not. The pro here is if you really love the Secret Files, you would get this. The con, usually I was like, it felt like a phone game in most of them. But this one, the con really was the dialogue to me and the length. I don't know if you want to spend time for a 3 hour game, so you might skip it. Last up, we have Rogue Heroes, which actually came out this year with a Metacritic score of 81. So we have high hopes for this game already with 13 hours of gameplay, and you're looking at $20 on Steam. So this seems like a good value, so let's dive into it. And this is a retro adventure. As looking at the video now, you could tell it's very, very heavily influenced by Super Nintendo Zelda era. Basically, there's 4 dungeons to clear out, and then there's a final dungeon, and each of these dungeons have multiple floors, and they're procedurally generated, so they're different every time you enter. And why would you enter them multiple times? Like Enter the Gungeon style, it's designed for you to kind of die first, so you'll probably struggle through it at the beginning. And you'll collect jewels, which you can actually do to upgrade your town to update your character. So that's where it kind of comes in. You get to build the builder's house, and then you can add a blacksmith, a medic place to increase your health. And you kind of build up retrying the dungeon to do all that stuff. Story here was very basic. Like I said, they kind of give a little story about the 4 dungeons, but overall, that didn't need to carry the game. So I wasn't really disappointed by it, but there wasn't much special story going on here. You can play up to 4 players. Obviously, I'm just here by myself, so didn't really get to try it. I saw online there was a couple complaints about working. Not sure if they ironed it out, but that looks to be fun. And obviously, this looks like Zelda. You have the same interactions. You can throw bombs, destroy bushes. I mean, this looks like Zelda, and it was really entertainment to me. I enjoyed this formula, and with the minor changes, like it added some stuff like the re-dye and the floors of the dungeons. I don't think that was in this genre of Zelda, but this is still a download. Like, I didn't think it was a bad thing, and that's the pro. Like, if you like the older Zeldas, you will like this game. I would say get it. But this is a double-edged sword. What the con is, you might just rather have Zelda, and that's where you're going to fall in this, is if you really want to expand out or not. This was a good game. I agree with Metacritic. It was pretty good. So there we go. We went through our games. I'm sorry I couldn't play Breaks Are for Losers. I really wanted to try that. And continuing with the ending, Rogue Heroes would be the game I would say you should download if you have to download one of them. Anyways, please like and comment down below. Let me know if you got the game working for the racing game. I would really appreciate it. And peace, and see you next month.